I'd raised an issue that because, there's a problem originally with the bylaws in that the Cable Commission was only meeting every other month, and in between, the Executive Committee was meeting. And I questioned that in terms of a delegation of authority, because the Executive Committee represents only 4 cities, and they're actually meeting on the alternate months when the Cable Commission doesn't. And so there was a question about, is that a proper delegation of public authority, because it's a public body, and can the commission delegate its authority to govern to an executive committee every other month? And so what we've done is, because we had disagreement about it on the bylaw committee, asked that Mike Bradley do a legal opinion on whether or not the commission is violating state law by doing that. And so I don't really see anything. I think that, we hope to maybe get the proposed bylaws to the full.
So now she mentioned that the Cable Commission, they have an attorney who they've worked with for many, many years. He specializes in this area. Okay, so he is a specialist. It's not like a city attorney that has a broad brush of experience in all areas of municipal governance. Okay, this attorney, Mr. Bradley, not any relative to this Mr. Bradley.
As far as I know.
Yes, he specializes in this area of public access TV. So he, and I had a chance to read his legal opinion, and his opinion is that there was no violation of the state laws, that the overall body of the commissioners had delegated that the executive body would meet every other month, and that the main body would meet every other month, different from the executive committee. And that was his position. So Miss Marley Abrams, she got onto the bylaws committee, and from what I understand, she was told, go ahead and look through it, give some proposed changes to it, and then we'll come back and then we'll review them. But this is what I understand she did instead. That she went and she engaged a different attorney, another attorney that she did not have authority to hire, and then had those bylaws completely redrafted, and then is asking the Cable Commission to pay the bill of this outside attorney that she hired, as if she's the queen of the world. Well, imagine their surprise when they found out the bylaws weren't just a couple of revisions here and there. She actually had them all redrafted, only in time for Maplewood to pull out of the Joint Powers Agreement. So not only is she being
wasteful,
confrontational in their meetings, she then is causing havoc by rewriting everything, causing bills for them. Mr. Bradley, you mentioned, she loves to spend money.
Of course.
Well, I guess she didn't get authority to spend that money, the very thing she's complaining about, that nobody knows how money's being spent. Well, they didn't know how she was spending money. And then just in time for Maplewood, in the first part of October, to pull out of the Joint Powers Agreement. Now, is that very neighborly?
Now, I've got another point here. In all of her palaver and screaming and yelling, I didn't hear her come up with one point that happened to do with the failure of the committee, of the Cable Committee.
Right, exactly.
In fact,
so let's go to our next clip.
Please.
And see, let's hear, now a couple months go by, and we're getting down to the meeting when Maplewood, because you saw that last clip was August 2015. Well, now we're going to be talking about October 2015, I believe. So let's take a look at our next clip.
The fact is we did a lot of thought about this, and we know that the management of the Cable Commission had a lot of problems, significant problems. How big is their budget surplus, City Manager Coleman?